Many people with autism know the term masking. It's where you cover up a part of yourself to conceal your identity away from others, often in times to show that you're not vulnerable. You may see insecure people doing this by acting all tough online, like that's a general consensus. And that's what bullies do. They project their insecurities onto you in order to avoid a part of themselves that is missing. Maybe it's a family problem, maybe it's some deeper issue which we cannot judge them for. Which is sad because it leads to many of us not being able to show our vulnerable side. This will lead to problems with your family, say your parents. You won't open up to them as much, and then you won't be expressing true human emotions as you should. They'll be out of control, they'll hit at different times, they may not hit at all. You know, depression isn't extreme sadness, it's just the lack of emotions. It's just emptiness. I know of people who have ended up taking their own lives, and it's just so sad. A major aspect of it is just not knowing how to express emotions. And unfortunately, that means a lot of people who have autism have ended up leaving us behind on this earth because they never showed a way to express. They never had anyone who loved them. Now it's easy to go and clown on the school shooters, and there are loads of memes where it says, when the school shooter gives you a call saying don't come into school tomorrow or whatever, but on a realistic scale, it's a real issue. People close to me, they've managed to open up to me, but not to many other people at all. You need to be genuine in order to evoke these feelings of trust within people and make sure you never break their trust. Now, luckily for me, I like to be honest with my friends, so they end up having an easy time expressing whatever difficulty they're having in their life so that they can actually be vulnerable in front of me. Now, since I'm a man, since I have my bros, they can do that with me. People who struggle to show their vulnerable side may not want to show it to their partners because that could cause wider implications for the relationship, and it may cause it to become worse. It may be for the better though. I've seen Reddit stories where a guy cried in his girlfriend's arms and he just felt so happy afterwards. That's great. It doesn't always work like that though. Other Reddit stories will show and tell you that that is the reality. I think if you're under the age of 25, or generally, just say if you're a young man or a young woman and you're in contact with your parents regularly and you don't have difficulty explaining things to them, you should still talk to them. You're not at that age yet where you have a long-term partner or relationship. Or maybe you've only had friends for a few years and you're not ready to open up to them yet. At that point, the easiest thing to do is maybe have a conversation with your mum or your dad. I would not recommend going on some like sketchy forums because I've learned of a site which a man with a large YouTube channel told his audience that a particular website had peer pressured his friend to end it all, and unfortunately that's what ended up happening, and it's so sad to see that happen. You need to find a trusted community, and nothing beats an in-person one-to-one chat with someone you trust and love. Now, would it be therapy? I don't know. I've never had a therapy session, but it would be wise to explore your options. Now, there is a philosophy which I have adapted for the last 2 years, which is living life with no regrets. Now, a lot of people do this, but how do they exactly implement it? Well, how I do it is whenever I have a desire to achieve something, I will do it. I'll do whatever it takes to make ends meet. And it can be a commitment sometimes, but you gotta be in this for the long game, buddy. So form good, genuine, deep, real connections with people you love and you trust. And once you feel comfortable, open up. But you must be able to express your struggles eventually and have your people by your side there to support you. It truly is, genuinely is, really reassuring when you have someone you trust who can help you with your feelings and problems and everything. And an even greater feeling is helping someone out with that, because you know you've just helped someone out with their deeper problems. And then you can feel really proud. I mean, I don't know if you've experienced many forms of dopamine or joy. The release of dopamine and the feeling of joy that comes from helping someone out with a deeper issue, it just puts a real smile on my face. I know from experience. So if you just try that, just please do it, because helping others helps yourself. It follows the simple philosophy of thou who gives shall receive. like the old Bible quote. So how about you try being more grateful, going around, giving your help, and then you'll receive joy and pleasure in return. Help someone out who's vulnerable, and if you are feeling vulnerable, reach out to a family member or someone you trust. Now, it's better to do it now, otherwise you'll hold off the problem and it will only get worse. Have the ability to think 24 hours, 48 hours, 7 days, 4 weeks, 1 year in advance. And maybe you won't be able to see how much worse it can get, but if you have a gut instinct feeling, which you may have, then act on it now. Get in contact with someone who cares. Stick by their side and form those damn relationships. It might be tough, you might have to go out there and expose yourself to these new people. There might simply be some older, more wise people on the street. You may go up to them and talk to them and ask them for life advice, because who knows, they may have been through situations just as bad, maybe 10 times before. You can ask them anything. In the end, it all comes down to human connection. Connect with someone. In this world where it's almost dystopian, like you don't speak to everyone who walks down the street or your neighbour, you're not friendly. That's how it is in the countryside of England anyway. In the city it's like no one talks to each other. It's a kind of breeding environment, because when nothing is spoken, these repressed feelings start to grow and grow and grow. And this can cause maybe periods of depression where you just don't feel connected. But trust me, once you buddy up with someone and speak to someone you trust, then it all becomes so much better. And you get a big smile on your face. And you feel like you have achieved a lot. I hope you experience those feelings soon. And please let me know how it goes. I'd love to see you succeed. Thank you. I'll see you next time.